Hey guys, it's not gonna be exactly a good video. There's no good lighting, there's no real preparation for it, and yeah, that's just the reality of my life. I mean, nothing's ever set in stone, so nothing's ever gonna be planned and stuff. So, this video is not planned in any way, shape, or form. It was actually probably never even an idea because I never thought I would be able to get over it. But I recently made a TikTok it just had a very vague thing in the description. If I remember, I'll put it right here, the description. It's like, you let him cheat on you, you let him beat on you, whatever that sound is. I don't remember, even though it's a few minutes ago. I'm actually crying because I'm thinking of how I used to feel. I used to feel so bad, but we're gonna get into that in a minute, okay? So, I'm gonna start from the beginning. My hair is terrible, I'm sorry. So let's start from the beginning. So, originally, I was very depressed from a young age. I have been depressed since 3rd grade or 2nd grade, and that's like a long time. It wasn't bad. I didn't know what suicide was. I didn't think of it as an option. It's just, I'm gonna go very vague with when I was little because it was weird. I was in homeschool. I had kindergarten and 1st grade, and then our school closed, and my dad didn't want me to go to the other one that they were sending me to. So I was homeschooled for 3 years, and I was so alone. I did a lot of things that hurt me mentally. I talked to strangers. Any little person texted me, I gave them all my attention. I gave them all my time, and I am crying now looking back on myself, rethinking the pain, which I don't like doing. So making this video is actually really hard for me because I'm trying to get over this, and I currently am okay on a daily basis. Like, this is new to me. Like, I haven't been this way in so long, and in a way I feel like what happens when it goes away, but we're not talking about that yet. But so yeah, I did a lot of things I really regret. A lot of things could have been avoided but I've had a phone since I was in like 3rd grade, and the reason I had a phone is because my brother gave me one. My mom didn't want to let me have one. My dad didn't know I had it. My mom knew eventually, but she didn't really care. And then my dad kicked my mom out of the house, and then that year I went into public school. The year after, not that, like, after my mom left, I finished that school year, and then the next school year, which was like a few months later, I went into public school. So, greatness. But when my mom first got kicked out, I didn't know what to do. But I would always, in 3rd grade and 4th grade, I would always sit there and say, what's the point? That was my thing. But I thought of iPhones and stuff. That was 3rd grade was before I got my iPhone. I got it in like the end of 3rd grade. This was like the beginning. And I would just sit there. I wouldn't do my work. I still don't do my work to this day because I'm out of school again, but we'll get to that. I would literally sit there, not do my work, and watch YouTube videos of iPhone unboxing or something. Maybe thinking that maybe having a phone would give me some sort of socialization that I didn't have otherwise. And that was true. But I mean, and eventually I would just think about it so much. I would just imagine how much better it would be and be like, well, really, there's no point. There's not much it would change. And that's how my thinking went on. So after I got it, that stopped, and I really thought there was something wrong with me. I used to think I was having a midlife crisis. I was freaking 4th grade at that time, most likely, when I thought I was having a midlife crisis. But then eventually that stopped. My mom got kicked out. And then I didn't have my mom for so I was 9 when she got kicked out, I think. So 9, 10, 11, 12. I didn't have my mom for 4 years, really, because I didn't get to see her the first year because she didn't want me either. And then after that, she never came to pick me up. I was in school at this time, so this was the only form of depression. This was 5th grade, mainly, this part. She had Mondays, Thursdays, and every other Sundays to pick me up. She would never, Saturday, every other Saturday. She would never pick me up. Some days she would just not call me back for days on end. And she would think it was a game. And when I called her crying and screaming, and that's why I have anger issues towards her today, she didn't care. She really never cared. She never apologized about it to this day, but that's fine. But then after that, she became an alcoholic. A really, really bad alcoholic. Came to the point where I hated being with my dad. I hated my dad my whole life. But it came to the point where I made my dad buy a breathalyzer. And every time she came, she would have to take it. If she didn't pass it, I'm staying with my dad. That's all there was to it. And when she did come, the times that happened, I would go in my room and cry and like bang. I had these metal bars. It was like this way. I had my bed thing, and I would try to stick my head into it and then put my neck up into it so that I could, like, I don't know, get my anger out somehow. And then eventually she stopped coming drunk because for like 4 weeks in a row we didn't let her come. Then she started sneaking it after I was already at her house, and it was her boyfriend introducing all this. Then her boyfriend started hitting me and her. He threw me out the window. He pushed me into the street. He busted my mom's head open on the steps. And I know you think I should. Most of y'all are probably like, you shouldn't be sharing this on the internet. Well, we've gone past this chapter in our life, and it is the past, even though he is still here. We don't talk about that, because I know it's just going to happen again, but whatever. Because I try to care for her well-being, and she doesn't care, so that is. And if I turn into my dad, then I'll never see my mom again. So after a point, I probably do want to try to choose myself, because I cannot go through that struggle anymore, especially not having school, because I will have no connection to outside sources. So, yeah. Going into 6th grade, I always have body, what's it called? When you don't like your body? Body dysphoria. I had that so bad. If I gained weight, if I gained even a pound, I would sit there and cry. I was 4'11" and 90 pounds. I went from that to 5'1" to 62 pounds. My mom noticed that there's stuff happening. At that time, my mom was like a little less on that drunk side, but I still had to watch her every time. And we were, at this time, he already went to jail for doing that because I called my dad, and my mom bailed him out. My mom really doesn't care. To this day, she still doesn't care, but that's fine. She never cared about the fact that he hit me, but that's fine too. I never bring that up because, yeah, even though I ran up the steps crying, you know what? That's the whole different story. And then 7th grade, I argued a lot with my best friend because I was scared of losing her, so I lost her. It was that not wanting to lose someone. So now to this day, I don't do that. I'm not that jealous type of person. If I am, then there's a reason I should be. But to this day, I'm not like that. And I find, and in the summer between 8th and 7th grade, that's why I lost her. At the beginning of 8th grade was the lowest I ever felt in my life. I didn't have anybody, not one person. Only 2 people I had were in a different class, and I wasn't even close to them because she was my only friend. But when I lost her, I lost everything. All our arguments, they piled up in my head. It was all my fault. It really was. And to this day, I do find ways to text her, and I still do think it was all my fault. Then my dad found one of my phones, and I'll give you a whole story time on my phones and that grounding session and stuff. But he found my phone. When he found my phone, he didn't speak to me till we got home, which we had to drop off his friends. He called me everything. He threatened to never let me see my mom again. And all this stuff, it locked me downstairs. I had to stay downstairs for September of 2018 to June of 2019. That whole time, between that whole time I was in 8th grade. And I wasn't allowed to go to my room. I wasn't allowed to use the bathroom at my house. I wasn't allowed to eat unless I was making my dad food. And if I did eat, I had to eat what he ate. And I don't eat that kind of stuff. I wasn't allowed to have a phone. Then I snuck my phone back. That's where it all got worse. I'm just gonna cut this all short because I don't want to make this video too long. I didn't have anyone at school at the time. My friend that I'm starting to get, she left, and then my dad found my phone again. The one I took it back. He found it. He cussed me out more than I've ever heard in my life. He held me against the bed with my arm behind my back and then pushing on my neck with his other hand, pushing me down as hard as he can against the bed, screaming in my ears so close. And I didn't have any clothes on at this time, screaming in my ear, cussing me out, saying I'm never seeing my mom again. And this time he really wasn't. So I went to school, called to see why I had a half day at school that day, and I was having a panic attack in the freaking hallways. I didn't have any friends. I had associates, but they weren't really there for me. Then into March, I made my first real friend. I did have a friend during all this, but until recently, he hasn't really been there for me. If I texted him, I would always be on red. If I called him, I would always get declined. If I tried to talk to him, I feel like he wasn't there sometimes, you know? And I always felt like I was unappreciated, which, to be honest, it's fine. But before March, I spent every day going to school, waiting till the last period so that I had someone to talk to, but never wanting that period to end because I was scared to go home. But I didn't want to leave my friend because he was the only person I had, which was great. Going into May, I was getting better because I had those two friends, him and Kayla, which was in my previous videos that I met and became friends with in March-ish. Then June, I was pretty fine. I still was struggling a lot, especially with my physical image. I didn't know what I wanted to do, where I wanted to spend my life, how I wanted to live my life until approximately, 2 weeks ago. But this whole summer I basically spent doing nothing. Then let me see how much time I have left on this thing. Then I basically spent this whole summer waiting to go to school, high school, you know. And my dad told me I wasn't gonna go. I cried. Then he told me I was either gonna go to the one by my mom's house or homeschool, and I was praying that it's my mom's one, but it wasn't. Homeschool. I started homeschool. I didn't do any of my work. I'm running out of time. That's why I'm hurrying up. Actually, the worst part for me, my hardest time, I'm gonna make it into a part 2 because this is a little too long. So sorry, y'all.